Buonasera, Jeffy.
Sarah.
It's the right time, correct?
Yes, good.
Good. Well, on behalf of PJFM, I'm very happy to be able to speak with you. It's an opportunity for people in Philadelphia to see a very good movie that you've directed. So,
Thank
I have,
you. Thank you.
I have a few questions, and I'll try to talk slowly so everybody can understand us.
Okay. I
So,
want to thank you, to thank the Lindy Spring Fest 2024. I'm very honored and proud that my film was invited in the festival. And I expect that people in Philadelphia will enjoy the film. And so have a good vision. And let's start.
good. This is a very interesting movie. I've watched parts of it two, three times. So
Oh,
that's to your credit. And there's extremely strong characters and an extremely interesting story. And of course, this always raises a question of what made you make this film? What drew you to it?
oh, uh, there was a time in my life, or so, yes, many years ago, about 10, maybe more, that with some friends we were working we have been working all in the film industry. Uh, so we, as screenwriters, directors, actors, and producers, we decided to open a cinema bookstore, no?
Hmm.
And it was really a very special time for us because I lived a few meters away in an apartment on the top floor, and I was thinking that my way of working was sad because I needed to face people, no, at the street level, no, on the earth, no, if you understand. So we decided to open a bookstore,
Oh,
and I was often in front of the window, uh, seeing people walking to try to understand something of what was happening, in the streets. And I thought about this story, but I thought that mm, in our times it was not so extreme, no, the what's happening. So I thought that maybe in the fascism it was very difficult to have an independent life, to be free, to think that you are in a place working, and the story outside will never come into your shop, no, something like that. And so I thought about Luciano and what was outside of this shop, the world changing. People in the beginning were smiling, no, to Luciano. Everything seems to be good because fascism was in a period of consent, no? And so day after day, something changing, no? Fears, people start to hear this word, war, and people that in the beginning were looking at the shop of Luciano, smiling. At the end, they look at him with menace, with hostility. No, there is something strange in the story, and I had the feeling that something was around us in our times. There is something I don't like in what is happening in our lives now. No, we often talk about war. We are afraid. There is a climate of fear. People is worried about to express their ideas, and so there's a kind of connection with the film. I think so, because to tell a story in the past is the best way to say something true about our times, I think.
That's fascinating. I really believe you're correct in how you did that. And it's
And even a love story is interesting because love is, I don't know, it's something the opposite of this, of fears. Love is courage when it's love, no? Love is something that changed the world, that there is no convenience, no, in love when it's love. And so I think it's interesting that even this feeling is not so easy to express this feeling that time, no? This is the situation between Luciano and Anna.
Well, that's really
Anna
interesting.
Esther.
It's really interesting because when you look at Luciano and Anna, they're so different. They're from different worlds. And what you're saying is, how did you think to bring them together? I mean, it's just a process where they slowly start changing, right?
Yes, it was very strange because when I met Ricardo Scamacho, the actor,
Right.
there was another producer.
Oh.
It was before pandemic, and this producer was not so sure to make the film, and we were for a long time to discuss with him to make this film. And so Ricardo, that I chose as the main character of the film, decided to buy the film and to do by himself.
Interesting.
I proposed to the producer to do that. And so I was very happy. And when I saw Ricardo and Benedetta Porcaroli, that is the actress, together, I was not so convinced. No, because Benedetta was so young, so I had I was a little worried about this strange mix of the two characters. So I invited Benedetta to come home, to come to my house, and to read together the screenplay. After 1 hour and a half, I say, yes, it's okay. She can do the Anna Esther role.
I don't want to give too much of the story away, but when you say that, it makes me think that Luciana and Anna were dancing around each other. They were trying to find a reason to get closer. Was that your intent? They come from different worlds, and they sort of like a dance to get together.
But so I think that in these difficult times, I think it's possible that something very strange could happen, even in two characters so distant, so different. Because in that times you see the quality of a true human being, you can happen something you can't imagine, because Luciano, okay, is a fascist, but in some way is a good man. He didn't want to be a man of the party, to be rich with fascism. He want to have his restaurant, his kind of life. It's smart. He's smart. He knows how to stay in that situation. And when Anna comes, there is something you feel that something is changing in himself, you know. And this is very interesting because we know during that period there was many good people, you know, staying in fascist situations or in the party. Many helped many people. Many was bad, very bad, but there were people okay. In Italy, everybody was in the fascism. All Italy was fascist. It was, they say, no, 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 no. In that period, everybody was looking at the fascism like, the future will be incredible good. But Luciano is different. Luciano is a man with a few words. He don't speak in an easy way. He knows how to speak. He knows what to say. I think he's kind of a man of those times, like my father. I imagine my father in that time because my father was an officer in Navy. I had a portrait in my home, in my house with him, with the
medals and
gas medals, and you can say wasn't a fascist. Yes, was a fascist because they were all fascists, but he was a good man, and I think in that period is a period of choices, no? And people can, when the situation is really important, is able to make the right choice, no? And so I think Luciano, he falls in love, but thanks to love, he can change, no? He can change his idea.
well, I think what I understand you're saying is, in a way, you had to be a fascist. You know, everybody had to be one. So on the surface, he may have followed it, but then he's confronted with Anna, who's not a fascist. And in fact, she's scared of the fascists for good reason.
Yes,
So
it's true. Yes, but there is something between people who goes beyond that because Anna, you remember when they are in the garden, in the park,
right.
you know, they're speaking, and he says, what you see behind me, no? What you see in me. And she said, a good boy, no? She doesn't understand why he's a fascist, no? She doesn't accept this, no? She don't want this idea of a good man is a fascist. It's interesting, the kind of look of Anna towards Luciano. And Luciano is, in a certain way, is attracted by her for that, no?
Yeah.
And he loves this girl so different from me, so proud, so courageous, no? There is something incredible, but there is a kind of loyalty between them, no? A loyalty of feelings, of course, not in the ideas. And I think, bro, it is decisive. Is the important thing at what Luciano does in the story. He decides to help them. No, this is the step, the real step, not the books or the ideas, but the facts, the choices he did.
That's really a good explanation because I think that goes to the heart of the movie. That's my interpretation. You know, when they start becoming close, you realize that Luciano has a different version of himself, and Anna realizes that she's safe with him. Is that what your intent was?
You know, when you see a movie, no, and in the beginning you see two different people, two different way of life, two different ideas of the world. And then in the middle of the story, we are in a kind of free land in which people looks like each other. There are more the the things that are similar in them than the differences, no? And this is incredible. Like when you go for a trip, for a travel, no, somewhere, you lose this backstory of yourself. No? You are in this free land, and the free land is cinema, of course. No, everything can happen there. We like that this can happen in cinema. I hope it can happen even in life. No.
I can't tell. I've been married for 53 years. But, seriously, it's kind of interesting how you made this movie. What's been the reaction in Italy to the movie? Has it been shown very much?
Oh, but in Italy it was very difficult because I had a lot of good reviews, but when the film was released in cinema, we were in that period of where people use masks to go inside, and the day the film was in the theaters, there was the war, Russia-Ukraine. No, it was that day that started the war. And so it is a kind of injustice, no, for me. Yes,
Unfortunate.
but I don't know. My hope is the film is still in the world in many situations, like in Philadelphia. And I think that if this film is still able to speak all over the world, that should be a reason, no, something different. After 2 years, it's very strange, and I think that even people living in Philadelphia can understand that this film has something to say to people, to everybody. I think this is a good thing. I think the best is yet to happen. No, the best. I hope the film will have a long life, a very long life.
Well, I hope it is because you're a real
And
optimist.
thanks to you, it will have a long life.
But
People,
have you found an international distributor? There's always Netflix and all those. Do you think they would look at your movie?
No, first I want to thank my distributor, Neil Friedman of Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
Very courageous, loyal, and I'm very happy because he did a very good work. So we met together in New York. It was we spent a very good time together. And I hope to make a movie there, to shoot a movie in the States. I like very much.
Well, we'd love to have you here. Philadelphia is about 150 kilometers from New York. Our trains are not that fast, but I can get there. And New York's a wonderful place. I have one last question for you. It's kind of a funny one. Ascoli Picciano, the town, is that a real place?
Yes, Ascoli Picciano is not only a real place, but it is the city where I was born.
Oh.
I did a film my first film was shot in Ascoli Picciano, and my last one, The Shadow of the Day, in Ascoli Picciano too. And I don't know. I think that maybe one day there will be a street or a place with my name in Ascoli Picciano. But I think when I started to, we were close to the shooting, but we didn't find the restaurant where to shoot the film, with the restaurant, the Luciano restaurant. And so I didn't know how to do because we were not, something was not going in the right way. Something was wrong. And I went to my town and I was in that restaurant.
Okay.
That is a coffee, a special place. And I was having a coffee behind the window in front of the square. And so I thought, what I'm doing, why I'm looking for a place that it doesn't exist in Rome. I have this place here, now in front of my eyes. And so I said to myself, let's do this film here. And then I called Ricardo, the producer. He said, are you crazy? And I said, no, I'm not crazy. And I sent him some photos and videos. And after a few minutes, he called me back. Next week, we try to have a meeting in Ascoli to do the film there. So we worked to the screenplay because we have to change something, and we decided to shoot in Ascoli Piceno. It was very special because, you know, in a small town during fascism in that time, people knows each other, no? It's very strange. There is not that kind of bad things happening in a big town. No, of course. You know each other, so you try to. But it's interesting because you feel the story is far from the small town. No, everything goes in the same way of every day. But something is changing even in the small town. No, even in that small town.
We're going to have to go in a moment. So, because we have an audience that's waiting to see a movie after your discussion. I'm so glad we're here. So I guess I would say to you, molte grazie.
Oh, grazie a voi. It's been a pleasure to be really. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. And I hope everybody in the audience, not everybody, but most of them will like the film.
Thank you. And when I go, take care, and I'll say
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Buonasera.